Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. We have just rolled over 10,000 miles in this, the Taycan Turbo S, and even with my less than adequate mathematical skills, that equates to about 5,000 miles a year. Maybe not as much as I should have been doing, but I do have other cars to drive around as well, so we can't put all the miles on this one. But despite it being not that long, it is long enough to form an opinion of this car, for sure. Has it been good to me? Have I enjoyed it? And most importantly, would I get another one? One of the things that I did, above and beyond anything else, before getting into this car, is I completely reset my head, clean slate, going into this with no prejudgment, no expectations at all. As a petrol head, if I compared it too strongly to an ICE car, I don't think that would be fair on it. I think you have to go in to this with that fresh set of eyes, just to give it a good chance to do what it does best as an EV, as a mode of transport. Now, I was chatting to a friend in the pub recently, and they said something which I found quite interesting. It sat really well with me, but why not? Let's hear it from them. So I'm with Lou. Hello, Lou.
Hi.
Proud owner of an e-tron Audi, and those of you that know these things will know that it is exactly the same platform as the Taycan, the J1 platform, right? People get hung up on these because they have no engines and petrol heads can't get on board, and we were just chatting in the pub just now, and it's fair to say I think that you aren't really into cars.
No.
You just kind of use them as a means to get around, right?
I do, yeah.
Not too bothered about engine or not, but you said something in there that really resonated with me, and I thought, yeah, that's what it's all about. So what was that?
I said it's the best car I've ever driven.
It's the best car you've ever driven, and
Yeah.
your first electric car, right?
First electric car, yeah.
What do you like about it?
I like it. It's comfortable, it's smooth, it's
Yeah.
quick. It's lovely. It's so smooth.
So if you can get over the fact that it doesn't have an engine and doesn't make all that noise, it's one of the best things to drive
Definitely.
on the road,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Anything else about it that kind of you really enjoy, or maybe not enjoy so much?
I like the look of it, but
It's great looking.
I think some of the features are lacking.
Bit basic this one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So like the memory seats.
No memory seats, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the RS version, is it?
No.
And what about range and charging and stuff like that?
Yeah, so the range is fine, but if I'm on a long journey, I panic about the charging stations.
Yeah.
But it's getting used to it. It's like, you know,
exactly.
you'd go to a petrol station normally, so now I just need to look for a charging point.
And would you say it's kind of, the trend is maybe getting better in terms of places to charge
definitely.
it?
There's actually loads.
There's loads,
There's
yeah.
loads, yeah.
Good, fantastic. I think the Audi version, I shouldn't say this too loudly, but I think it's better looking than the Taycan. It's exactly the same platform, but different body shapes. And I think just something about the lines on this, that it just sits better on the road. It's absolutely lovely. So this is your first EV.
Yeah.
Would you go back now to petrol?
No.
You wouldn't. You'd
No.
stick
Yeah, I
to
would,
electric. So
yeah.
converted, just because the
I have,
drive is
yeah,
so good.
Yeah. Lovely. Love it.
Phenomenal. Well, really appreciate it, Lou. Great to get your insight. Lovely car.
Thank you.
And carry on enjoying it.
I will.
Don't
Thank
worry
you.
too much about the range. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
The nicest accents in the UK to listen to. I find that you could just hear it all day long, and if somebody's telling you something in that accent, you've got to take notice. Certainly I do anyway. But back to reality. I loved what she said there. Thanks, Lou, for getting on camera and doing that. Is that it's the best car she's ever owned. Not a petrol head, just simply looking at it as a means of transport, right, of getting from A to B. Now, admittedly, it is a very stylish one, that e-tron GT, and yeah, people would say, but it's an Audi e-tron. Well, it's exactly the same platform as this car when you take the body away. Same powertrain, same everything. They are exactly the same cars, and calling it out as being so smooth and so comfortable to drive around in is what really resonated with me, because that is what these cars are. They're so brilliant on the road, so comfortable, so quiet, so peaceful. It is, frankly, an absolutely sublime way to get from A to B. Yes, you don't get all the shoutiness or the theatre of a combustion supercar, but it is absolutely lovely. And if you can go into it with an open heart and let it be good, it will be good. I guarantee it. So many people just instantly write these off because of what they are. And a lot of my petrolhead friends as well, some of which actually also have Teslas but just wouldn't admit it, or would keep it, you know, on the very back of the cooker in terms of conversation. But they are really good cars. But this car has not been without its issues. In fact, the platform itself hasn't been without issues. Just to look at some of those where I think this car has struggled a little bit. Obviously the brakes, we've spoken about that in previous videos. That transition from the regen braking to the pad braking is not great, and just had a recall on those hoses, so not fantastic from a brake perspective. The other issue that this car has had, the heater, they've all been in for heater repairs, we know that, right? Should be good now. And battery issues. Now luckily this car hasn't had any battery issues, but I've seen a lot on the forums, on the groups, of people having battery issues, and it stems from some of the battery modules being faulty or water ingress into those battery modules, and the car will shut down, electrical system fault on the dashboard, and you've only got recovery available as an option, unfortunately. So these cars aren't without their battery woes, their battery issues as well. But one area that I think sits above everything else, and could kind of in a way be linked to the battery issues as well, is the software. The software that runs these things, these cars, these EVs. And it's an area that every manufacturer has struggled with. Now these guys, right, these car builders, they absolutely know how to engineer a car. They can do that brilliantly. They've been doing it for years and years, putting it all together, building a quality car that is sturdy, that has great road presence, that is comfortable, that should exude quality. They're good at doing that, absolutely. And even from an EV perspective, yes, it's a slightly different powertrain, but everything else, all the components of the car, they know how to do this well. What they don't know how to do is software. Porsche aren't a software company, and neither are their parent, VW AG, Volkswagen AG Group. So we've got to look at the bigger picture here. So Porsche, as we know, are owned by Volkswagen AG. AG is, I think, the German word for shareholding company or something like that, like the holding vehicle. I'm sure somebody can chime in the comments on that. But interestingly enough, it's a kind of bizarre love triangle here. The Porsche family themselves have a 53% holding stake in VW AG, so they in effect have control. So Porsche own VW and own Porsche, and of course VW AG, right, they own a lot of brands. We've got Bugatti that's sitting there, we've got Audi, we've got Seat, all of these brands that sit within that group. They're in the commercial vehicles as well. I think trucks, there's a huge plethora of brands that sit in there, but they've never been a software company. They have an in-house software group called Cariad that is supposed to design all the software for the cars, and they've been struggling. They struggled with that VW ID3 that sat around for months and months in lots waiting for software updates to be applied before it could see the light of day. So they've struggled, right? They've struggled. And I think Porsche have recently said, we're looking at other options now. We can't trust the development iterations, the cycle, the speed to market of that Cariad in-house software part of VW AG. We're looking externally, and I think they've announced, I think they did a while back, they're looking to partner more strongly with Google, right? And let's face it, Google know a thing or two about software, right, and what they're doing there. And that is where I think EV car companies are going to get the best leverage right now, is partnering with those software companies, IT companies, tech companies that know what they're doing, right? And there's plenty of them out there. Tesla, as you know, huge capability in autonomous driving, they're huge investment in AI as well, so that's going to be one to watch in this space. But VW definitely struggling a little bit, and the EV market in general needs to eat some more beans right now, because it's pretty much out to sea and there is no wind. VW struggling, right? Dieselgate, still in debt for that, I think, massively, and just really needing to get back on track. Just quickly, how much has this cost me over 2 years so far? Well, not much, apart from obviously the monthly payments that I'm making, which are pretty significant. But running costs, I'm very fortunate I can charge at work. Thank you, work. So I honestly would say I've probably spent less than about £500 on keeping this thing going, and that includes the electricity I've pumped into it as well. So I mean, it's, from a running cost perspective, it is insane. It's only just about to go into its first service, and I'll do a follow-up video on that at some point soon. These car manufacturers have to be really careful not to neglect their current market. The fan base they have out there, that, for example, with VW, known for cars like the Golf, the Passat, those reliable workhorses that do what they do very well and are trusted by plenty of consumers out there, they can't digress too far from that. At the moment, they have to nurture those brands as well, maybe even adapt those into EVs at some point, so at least you kind of maintain that feeling that you are still in one of those cars, even if you're kind of not, but you are, if that makes some form of convoluted sense. Oh, there you go, lovely V10 M5, beautiful. I love that E60 platform. Now, back to where we were. Yeah, they have a lot to do to get back on track now, and we're kind of in this trough at the moment in EV land. People just saying, you know what, I'll just hang back for a bit, not necessarily get on board right away. I've loved every second of this. I really do rate it as a car that I've rated with a fresh set of eyes. Now, the other part of this as well, the part of the video that I wanted to discuss, is would I get another one? Would I get another one of these? Absolutely I would, provided Porsche could provide me with significant incentive in order to do so. Like, I'm talking a free house or free Greg's sausage rolls for life, pretty much. They'd have to go that hard, because right now, from a competitive standpoint, this thing just does not stack up in any way, shape or form. Now, got to call out that brand again with T. Plenty of my friends own those in secret. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that there it is. Are they going to give it a blast off the lights? I really hope they will. I'll edit the video just to hear the sound, and then we'll get back to what we're talking about. No, very restrained, unfortunately. Oh well. As I was saying, many of my friends who secretly own that brand beginning with T that we've already mentioned, Tesla of course, they are doing an offer right now in the UK. A Model Y, £4,000 down, $299 a month. How compelling is that? A base Taycan, okay, I appreciate, you know, you should be comparing a Taycan with the Model S, really, I get that. But a base Taycan is about £17,000 down and $1,200 a month or something like that. That's on a 6.9% APR, so Porsche are doing an incentive on that APR to try and get you in it, but the residuals are still not good. In fact, that base Taycan after 3 years is $39,000, and incidentally, a turbo on the same plan after 3 years is $50,000. So it depreciates to pretty much that same guaranteed future value ballpark as the base Taycan. Brutal depreciation right now, and that's why right now I wouldn't buy another one from new. I would absolutely look at used. That e-tron GT that we saw earlier in the video, that was bought used. They're having a wonderful experience with it. There's plenty of choice out there. Buy used, absolutely. So it's going to be really interesting for me how Porsche deal with this situation going forward, what they do with this as a platform, how the Macan EV stacks up when that gets out to the wild. It's just a really interesting, almost seismic shift that we're going through at the moment. Manufacturers desperately trying to push these things on us because they've got targets to meet, etc. The public kind of saying, you know what, I'm just not quite ready for it. Some are willing to get on board, but don't overlook them as great cars. They are wonderful ways of getting about, perhaps as long as you're comfortable with it being an EV. That's it for this one. Do stay safe, stay well, see you on the next one, and bye for now.